2,500 years ago, in the north of India, an old man was sitting by the banks of a river, accompanied by his disciples. "I am dying," he told them, with a perfectly calm voice. "But do not be sad. All that is born must disappear. I leave you my word and my teachings." But what were the teachings of the man who became Buddha, the Enlightened One? What were these words which still resound throughout Asia? The places that witnessed the birth, life, and death of the historical Buddha are still here today. They are gardens and parks where calm and tranquility reign, as in the past. Pilgrims come from the world over to rediscover a part of themselves in places like these.
My name is Yuki. It means snow in Japanese. I arrived to Lumbini yesterday and I discovered that you have the ruins of the actual place where Buddha was born, which is exciting. So I think it's very empowering for Buddhist people to come here and have and experience the unity of Buddhism from all over the world in one place.
No sights are more soul-stirring than the places where young Siddhartha was born and raised. His family and caste destined him for power and prestige. His father was governor of the Republic of Shakya. Tradition held that his expectant mother should return to her hometown to give birth, but she did not reach her destination in time. Her son was born while on the way, in the flower garden of Lumbini. In this small village in southern Nepal, one can still see the same splendid garden, now bedecked with countless Tibetan flags. Basanta Bidari, director of the Archaeological Center, supervises the site.
We are one of the most holiest place in this planet, and this is the place where Lord Buddha was born in 623 BC. And it is a kind of heaven of sacred refuge for the people, those who seek peace in the mind.
Now, at this time, Maya Devi had a dream. She was to give birth to a son with an exceptional destiny. He would be either a great king or a religious master. For the notables of the capital of Kapilavastu, the prophecy was clear. For people of his caste, the young Siddhartha Gautama was to follow in the footsteps of his father. But the child had no taste for wealth or power. He preferred to listen to the hermits and wandering philosophers living outside the city.
In the 6th century BC in the society, Brahminism was a very strong hold. So, according to Brahminism or Brahmin philosophy, they said that the origination of human being is from the God. who is a Brahma. Brahma is a creator of this universe. They have a philosophy that the Brahmin, they came from his mouth. Kshatriya, they came from his arm. Vaishya, actually they are the trader group, merchant group. They came from his thigh. And Shudra, the lower caste people, they came from his feet. So it was a division of work. Originally, it was a division of work. The Brahmin's duty is to perform the religious activities. And the Kshatriyas, they are the protector of the society. They are the ruler class. And the Vaishya, they are the trader. They are the businessmen. And Shudra, they are actually the people who work in the field. He saw that a caste system in the society, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and he thought that, no, everybody's tears is salty and everybody's blood is red. Why he is a Brahmin and why he is Shudra? Why this discrimination? So he wanted to find a sort of way where the people, they can live with peace, with the harmony. That's why his father had a lot of problem, a tension, how to, lead him as a royal prince instead of becoming a religious man.
When the governor was informed that his son spent most of his time with monks, rather than practicing his warrior skills, Suddhodana flew into a rage and summoned his son.
I don't want to see you with these sadhus anymore. You must live as befits your class. I want you to marry and give me an heir.
Then he determined to leave his palace. He asked with his father. He wanted to take a permission. His father said, no. When we have someone in our family, I will not stop you. Your intention is already clear. You have an objective there, you have a goal there. You can go and you can achieve that goal. But let somebody come in our family.
Siddhartha obeyed his father's wishes. He took a wife and waited until she conceived a son. But in order to enter into a religious life, he would have to forsake all his social and personal responsibilities. A few days after his child was born, he made a heart-rending decision.
The one who comes to this world has to get old, has to be sick, and one day he has to die. Even after his death, again he has to come to another life. With a determination, he took a renunciation. And with promise, I will not back to Kapilavastu until and unless I will not get the path, the truth, which will stop this circle of birth.
At dawn, Siddhartha fled with his servant Channa. He left his expensive clothes with a beggar watching him from the side of the road. He then shaved his head to begin the long and lonely road of the wandering philosopher. Watching him leave, Channa understood that nothing would ever be the same again.
Thousands and thousands of people, they started coming to this holy place as a pilgrimage, even like you people today here. 3rd century BC was a turning point of Lumbini's history. Emperor Ashoka from India, India means today's India. At that time it was called Magadha Empire. He came from Magadha Empire as a pilgrimage to Lumbini. And he brought a huge pillar, probably you saw that pillar. And there's an inscription. It is so fantastic and beautiful, meaning of that inscription. He said that I personally came to this place because Sakyamuni Buddha was born here. I worshipped the place and erected this pillar to commemoration of my visit. And I made the village of Lumbini tax-free because here the Bhagwan was born.
Ashoka's pillars mark a milestone in Buddhist history. In a short time, the new religion had acquired such a dimension that the emperor of the Maurya dynasty, who had just unified all of India for the first time, chose Buddhism as the state religion.
I was talking about he was the man who denied the existence of God, who denied the caste system, who did not believe the idol worship or sculpture worship. So one monk said, Master, we do not have any questions of your teaching. But one thing, after you are no more in this world, how could we remember your existence? And Buddha said that you have to visit 4 places. You go to Lumbini, where I was born. You go to Bodh Gaya, where I was enlightened. You go to Sarnath, where I turned the wheel of love for the first time. And you come to this place where I'm passing away.
After an exhausting trip in the heat and dust of Indian roads, Dipayan finally nears his destination. This young Burmese Buddhist spends all his spare time seeking personal enlightenment. He undertook this long journey to meet with the Bodh Gaya masters. The enclosure of the Grand Temple of Bodh Gaya represents the sacred heart of Buddhism. Inside the temple stands one of the oldest and most beautiful statues of Buddha. The outside is a place of meditation and prayer open to all. Dipayan is intrigued by the children singing in unison.
Hello. Are you the children's leader?
Yes, I am.
Are you from a monastery?
No, we were invited by the Mayabodhi Society.
Are you a religious school?
No, these children are not Buddhists.
But these are Buddhist songs, aren't they?
The children are from Hindu families.
Oh, they're Hindus.
They come here to sing and meditate. They discover Buddhism.
You're right. This is an extraordinary place for meditation.
Yes, extraordinary.
Whatever the religion. Goodbye for now. I must go on.
Dipayan has finally made it to the Mayabodhi temple, which he has been so keen on contemplating. This stupa boasts a very old shape dating from the first centuries of our era. It was built on the very spot where Siddhartha achieved the awakening, under the Bodhi tree. A shoot of that tree is still here today. Around it, monks from all schools and traditions pray with the same fervor. This site, so remote, allows everyone to take a moment to consider history and meditate on Buddha's awakening. For 6 years, Siddhartha and his 5 disciples practiced strict asceticism. But the fasting and mortifications left Siddhartha unsatisfied. Now one day, a young peasant girl named Sujata came with an offering for the god of the tree under which Siddhartha was meditating. Sujata was moved by the young yogi. She gave him the bowl of rice instead. This gesture of compassion made Siddhartha think. He ate and gave up asceticism. Far from his disciples and outside the Hindu tradition, he foresaw the possibility of an original way, beyond the body, beyond suffering. During the first part of the night, he was visited by Mara, the demon of desire and death. Mara urged him to give up his spiritual quest and to practice sacrificial rites for personal merits. Siddhartha touched the ground with his hand and took it as his witness that he no longer needed such merits. In the second part of the night, he went deeper into meditation and became aware of his former lives. Realizing the past and future incarnations of all living beings, he perceived the obstacles and sufferings that characterized them. At dawn, he attained full illumination and became Buddha, the Enlightened One. Near the temple, Dipayan is still seeking a master to get answers about the nature of enlightenment. He finds an elderly monk who advises him to come back 3 days later, during the full moon of Baisak. This was the night when Siddhartha himself attained enlightenment, 2,500 years ago. Following the monk's advice, Dipayan returns for this special event. He meets Bhante Vasambodhi.
Nirvana is not a paradise, nor another world. Do you want to know what Nirvana really is? It's not a place, but rather an inner state which we seek to attain. The word Nirvana is composed of 2 elements, Ni and Bana. Ni is a negation, and Bana means the bond. Nirvana literally means an absence of bonds. 3 fires burn within us constantly. One is the attachment to things, the others are hatred and ignorance. To free oneself from these fires, we must create a void, free of any physical and mental existence. One often hears of Buddhism as a religion of the void, but this void refers to an extinction of the ego. During meditation, our barriers disappear. Our mind is calm and serene. But before that stage, we must first release ourselves from desire, anger, and ignorance. This takes years of practice. Nirvana is all this.
Touched by the sincerity of the young man, Bhante Varsambodhi has taken him under his wing. He wants to accompany him to the International Meditation Center to meet the Venerable Dr. Rastrapal Mohantera. In fact, his master is one of the most eminent specialists of Vipassana meditation, which he has practiced for over 60 years. In this center, he now shares his knowledge and experience, set forth in over a dozen remarkable books. Dipayan, deeply impressed by such a prolific master, is at first too shy to introduce himself, but we encourage him to overcome his emotion and fulfill his quest.
My family is originally from Burma. I'm from Kolkata. I'm very happy to meet you. I wish to ask you a few questions about Vipassana meditation.
One can understand Buddhism without practicing meditation, but never completely. I've written many books about Vipassana meditation, and I recommend them to my pupils and the monks in this center. Reading books is very useful. It gives a theoretical base, but there is no substitute for practice. In our tradition, we practice two kinds of meditation, samatha and vipassana. To make it simple, samatha meditation consists of focusing one's mind on an object. This goes through three stages. First, your eyes see an object. Then, closing your eyes, your mind concentrates, emptying itself of all other thoughts. Then it reconstitutes the image of the object. Finally, you stay concentrated while forgetting the object as it fades away. Practicing samatha meditation enables you to suppress greed, anger, and ignorance, but not completely. Some obstacles do remain, which stem from our own personality. Vipassana meditation makes it possible to reach a more advanced stage in which the fires tormenting our ego totally disappear. It is a state of relaxation and great calm, where the penetrating vision of the mind gradually moves beyond the limits of the object. Things which used to appear in a certain way are seen to be of a relative and temporary nature. But again, these are only words, and this theoretical knowledge cannot replace the experience.
In Sarnath Park, a few miles from Varanasi, stands the Dhammik Stupa, a monument which marks the place where Buddha, having reached enlightenment, chose to teach others the original spiritual path he had discovered. Buddhists say that at this place he gave movement to the wheel of Dharma, the wheel of doctrine.
My name is Christian. I'm Belgian. I've been a practicing Buddhist for the past 3 years. I recently traveled to India to come and find my roots, so to speak, since we're here in Sarnath, in the middle of nowhere in India. Yet this is an important place, since this is where Buddha gave his first sermon, in the deer park. It's a very moving place, full of serenity. You have to pay the price, though, before you can appreciate the serenity. You have to cross this chaotic, noisy, disorganized country. But it's worth it. Once you make it here, you see that it's worth it. You really feel at home, as my master Thich Nhat Hanh would say, because I discovered Buddhism in France, in the town of Prunier. He would often say to us, "This is your home." And well, I do feel at home here.
At Sarnath, after a long journey from Bodh Gaya, Buddha met the 5 disciples who had left him. When they glimpsed him in the distance, the confused disciples were not sure how to act. But then they understood that something had changed. At first hostile, they soon became impatient to hear the word from their master.
Dukkha Arya Sakka.
First is the truth of suffering.
Dukkha Samudaya Arya Sakka.
This suffering has a cause.
Dukkha Nirod Arya Sakka.
This suffering can be stopped.
Dukkha Nirod Gamini Patipada Arya Sakka.
I teach the way to stop suffering. During his visit to Sarnath, Christian has an opportunity to meet a master from the nearby Thai temple. Dr. Guru Damo is one of the world's most respected Pali Canon specialists.
First, Buddha says 4 noble truths. First noble truth is a dukkha, that is suffering. Second noble truth is a dukkha samudaya, that is the cause of suffering. And third is a cessation of suffering, dukkha nirod. And fourth is dukkha nirodhagamini patipada, means the way or lead to the cessation of suffering. These are 4 things Buddha taught.
But what is dukkha, in fact?
In life, that is the 4th step. First, when we born, that is suffering. Second, when we get ill, that is also suffering. When we grow as old, that is suffering. And last is very important. The end of the life means death. It is also suffering. Suppose you ask anybody about death, so everybody get frightened because people love their self. Going to enter in the old age, your black hairs become white, your teeth get loose, your skin gets green, and your eyes get low sights, and you are frightened. When we say about death, and then he gets frightened, he or she. So it creates suffering. So first, in these 4 things, Buddha says this is the life of human being, and you always suffer. Then she says, suppose 2 people, those are loving each other, or those are very friendly or very close. So like mother and child, and mother and wife, father, mother, like this. And suppose they departed from each other, so we suffer. It makes us unhappy. It is called suffering. Buddha here in Sarnath, in very Sarnath, Buddha explained to the 5 monks about the origin of suffering and then cessation of suffering. You say tanha, that is in English craving. So it means in sensual desire, it is not just like a bodily sexual attachment or all like this, sensual, but all worldly things. Suppose you like car, you like this. Suppose you did not get car, you try to get it. And it creates the tanha, it creates the craving to you. Suppose you're not getting it, you suffer it. And to be born in good life again, we believe in this. So you feel now we are trying her next life, maybe I will be a rich man or a big person. I have a lot of money, lot of things, and I enjoy life. Or it means sensual desire, again, it creates. It is a cause. So Buddha says the main cause of the dukkha, suffering, is tanha. So how to stop this thing? Buddhism, that is like a medicine to end the suffering. So what is that medicine? That is Eightfold Path. That is the 3 factors: right speech, right action, right livelihood, come under the title of Sila. Second is Samadhi. Samadhi means meditation or concentration, the right effort, right mindfulness. And third is right meditation or right concentration. Is the second title, Samadhi or concentration. And then this is Prajna. Prajna means knowledge. Knowledge, that is a right understanding. Right understanding and right determination. You're following the Sila, you're practicing the Samadhi, and then you understand, your knowledge is Prajna. So these all Eightfold Paths in 3 titles, and you can all together you can practice it.
Sarnath is truly Buddhism's starting point. In this place where Buddha began 45 years of teaching, where statues and temples are constantly built, one feels its youthful beginnings. Buddhists from all countries come here to draw strength from their religion.
And actually Buddha says you should not accept Buddhism blindly. So many of the people are learning through researching, do research in that. Looking for this thing, that thing, and but actually they not understand Buddha until they don't practice. So Buddhism gives the stress on the practice. You learn through the books, through the radio about Sarnath is a wonder of the world, you see. But still you not see the what is actually right. It creates in curiosity you to know. And when you go to see, that is your real, true experience. You can touch the walls of the thing. So you feel something is there. In the same way, Buddhism. To know Buddhism and to practice are 2 things different. When you practice, it will about the Buddhism, then you will understand what is the bhava and what is the vibhava.
Jacek and Miriam are Polish Buddhists, followers of Kagyupa Tibetan Buddhism. They spent several years on retreat in the Himalayas, and this pilgrimage to Kushinagar has a special meaning for them.
There was some difficult moment in my life when I had to let go of something, that some person disappeared from my life, and in a way that was, I think, the most difficult beat of my life so far. In this moment you realize that what Buddha was teaching about suffering, that it is actually true. The fact that nothing is permanent, that whatever comes together is built of conditions, has got to fall apart and disappear. So the same way natural effect of life is death, or when someone appears in your life, in the same natural way it disappears again. Things come and go, which is very difficult for us to accept. We have this strong grasping in our mind, especially those things which we like and which we love, the people we love, we respect, or the ones who are very important to our lives. We live right here, right now. Of course, it's important what we do, it's important what happened and what we've done in the past, and it's very important what we will do in the future. But right now is this very moment when we make a decision. And I could make this choice to go back to my sorrow and to still feel hurt and painful, but I make a different decision.
"45 years after the founding ceremony in Sarnath, Buddha had traveled through a vast part of northern India. By then, his community counted several thousands of monks. At the age of 80, he announced his approaching death to his disciples. Like every morning, the monks went begging for their food. The master accepted an invitation from a blacksmith named Kunda, but he forbade his disciple Ananda to share the meal.
He got either, I mean, I guess it wasn't intention of the cook, who was a blacksmith as well, and more that probably he was a better blacksmith than a cook. He prepared some food for Buddha, then he got food poisoning. In those days it wasn't as easy as today. I mean, you can come to India and still get a food poisoning, but you survived that one. Buddha didn't have that chance. There was no antibiotics anymore, and he stated that whatever was useful, whatever could help beings, he already has given through 45 years of his traveling and around and teaching. He really exhausted his body, and this is the place when he, not leaving any, as in his own words, not leaving any teaching in a closed hand, that he can pass away.
Having refreshed himself in a nearby river, Buddha taught his disciples one last lesson. All that is born must disappear, he told them. You have followed me during all these years and you know my teachings. Do not attach yourselves to my person. Then Buddha went into meditation and reached the great end, parinirvana.
Everything that appears has got to disappear. Buddha's one of the last statement was like that everything has to pass. And I think that's why also he himself, even though being a Buddha and able to extend his life as long as he wanted to, he didn't take this option. There's no fear of death. There's no fear. People come in and go. Friends come in and go. Family members, lovers, partners in life. Everything has got this impermanent nature. But as a Buddhist, we would like to find something which is behind that thing, which is able to observe all those things and experience them and react to them. It gives a lot of fearlessness, because you see that you can't always associate yourself with your body only. You know, it's not that these 5 or 6 senses that are there. It's not your physicality. It's not your, you know, not your bones, muscles, and intestines and everything else. Of course, your mind functions through it. Your mind expresses itself through it. But if you think about it, that this is me, then you're in a very sad situation.
A few kilometers away from Kushinagar, in the ancient town of Bhaktapur, Vipassi Bhante leads a monastery of young monks. His personal history has so great an echo with the extraordinary past of this valley that he has become one of the most important spiritual figures of Nepal.
After Buddha's death, his body was cremated, following the tradition. His ashes were placed in funeral urns, some of which have survived. They bear the words, "This funeral urn contains relics of Buddha the Most Happy from the Shakya clan." Then Buddhists built large religious monuments in the image of old stupas and placed relics of saints or great masters inside. This is why stupas gradually became the core of Buddhist sites. Sometimes a stupa is built first, and only later do the faithful come and build their dwellings around it. You want to know how Buddha's Dharma, the Buddhist doctrine, spread throughout Asia. At the time of Emperor Ashoka, India was almost entirely Buddhist. Then Dharma expanded to the west in Gandhara and to the south in Sri Lanka. From Sri Lanka, Theravada Buddhism spread throughout Southeast Asia to Burma, Thailand. From Gandhara, Mahayana Buddhists spread to China, Korea, Japan, then to Tibet. But India is the country of origin. Yet Buddhism began to disappear in this country from the 8th century on. And Buddhists who'd always lived in the very places where Buddha had taught took refuge here in Nepal, in Bhaktapur. Newar Buddhists are the descendants of the original Buddhism. This is the only place in the world where the direct link to the words of the historical Buddha have never been cut. We're very close to the mountains of the Himalaya here, and most of the Buddhist schools are Tibetan. But I wanted to revive the Theravada tradition, which is the most ancient one. That is why we are linked with Thai Buddhism. The Newar people in Bhaktapur have fully understood and accepted our determination to return to original Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism is being reborn in Nepal to everyone's joy. We already have about 30 young monks from all over Nepal. I know that in the next few years there will be more. I receive many requests from families, but we are very careful. This is first and foremost a school, and it encourages the development and happiness of each individual.
Today holds an exceptional event for Vipassi Bhante and his young monks. Tonight is the full moon of the first month of the year, which corresponds to our May. It celebrates Buddha Jayanti, Buddha's birthday. The Hindu city of Bhaktapur takes an active part in this great festival, providing encouragement for communities of monks of various traditions and showing special affection for the Theravada children. On this occasion, Vipassi wishes to bring together all his pupils. He teaches them that nothing in Buddhism, including the life of Buddha, is fixed doctrine. Buddhism is a religion that each person reinvents day after day.
Today is Jayanti Buddha's Day, the Baishakh Purnima, the first full moon of the month. It is a very moving birthday celebration for us Buddhists. On the same day, a long time ago, Buddha was born. All the great events of his life occurred during a full moon. His birth, his enlightenment, the first sermon, death. Listen to me, young monks, and I will tell you the story of Buddha.